Lokati here. Today we're going to be starting a Deadeye Ranger on a 0 to hero strategy. So we're going to start off with a Ranger. We're going to level him up to make him a Deadeye. We're only going to use things that we find on the character we're playing so that people can see how we're making decisions or why we're making decisions, and how is the best way to take this class from a not having anything, a beginner situation, to the end game of Path of Exile 2. We've chosen Deadeye, and we're going to be playing it as Lightning Arrow because I think that is a very strong build that is also very popular, and so will be something that a lot of people will be interested in engaging with. So let's get started. First, we're going to select the Ranger. Come on, girl. We are on Lokati 10. Like it. Let's roll. We got our burrower here. So we are using lightning rod, lightning arrow now. Put down your lightning rod and fire your lightning arrow into it. He's gonna do his little thing right here. Get more lightning rods down where he is. If you can get a stun on him, like right here. So right here is going to spawn here. Let's get a bunch of lightning rods down, because we're going to get a stun, and we'll have a higher uptime on our attacking. And so lightning arrow is chaining off of the lightning rods and triggering the lightning rods and doing damage, and so that's how build will generally work the whole time you're playing it. Give you an idea of where we are on our first boss here. We just have a basic quiver, a basic bow, a helm that has some stats, gloves, body armor that has some stats, and boots that have some stats. We really haven't spent much time in getting gear together. We're just rushing through and getting some materials. Get an uncut skill gem. Lightning rod is going to be our most important skill, so we're going to keep that leveled up as high as we can. Have some wisdoms here. Spend these on items that are going to be potentially valuable, like some on these boots. Nice. But we'll also just take general stats on the boots. Can't use those until level 5, however. This is level 4. Okay belt to have to fill a slot. Nothing else fancy here. We'll augment a quiver. We need magic quiver. That's alright. Our skills again are lightning arrow, lightning rod, and on our tree we're going to be pathing down this projectile list right here and going forward from there. And boss number 2, BRS. So we did add our support skill from the borrower to get scatter shot onto lightning rod. This will allow us to drop more lightning arrows on the ground, or lightning rods on the ground, and trigger them with lightning arrows. So we're just going to go in and drop lightning rods on her. We want to have 12 of them down. That way we get the most trigger from our lightning arrow when we cast it. This also ends up being a tremendous amount of clear for any little adds that spawn, because all of those lightning rods are triggering AoE damage. And BR is dead. Make sure you pick up your head and eat it. Rest of your gear. Move on. Alright, we have a little bit of gold. So we're going to go ahead and buy a couple of gambling items. So far we have earned about 2,842 gold. So we're going to get a bow. That's a good bow. And we're also going to get a quiver. Not a terrible quiver, but not a good quiver. We only have 1,000 left to spend. Jewelry is crazy expensive, so we're not going to do that. Let's just try to hit another quiver. That's a much better quiver. Alright, so we equip our bow. equip our quiver. And then we go and we melt everything else.
Please. Oh, I like this one. Goodbye.
Sell what we can. Go to our tab here. Deposit what we can in our tab. And keep on keeping on. And we got bramble gas coming up here. Now, for some of these bosses, you can drop your arrows before they spawn. Get everything in order here before they come out. That will help to increase your damage versus the boss. Make sure you're dodging his abilities. More arrows down during the stun. And then do damage. You can see with our new bow and our new quiver, our damage has increased significantly. So make sure you keep the upgrades rolling. Go ahead and get all of our loot here. Got a new uncut skill gem. There's no skill gems that we need, but escape shot is not a bad one to have. If you get pinned in or surrounded, escape shot can help you get out of a tight situation. So, go ahead and throw it on your bar. But we really don't need to put anything else into it. Just the escape shot is good enough for now. Alright, so we are back in town. Always check your vendor for useful items. We're looking for boots with movement speed because movement speed is king. We don't see any of those. A quiver with something exceptional, although our quiver is surprisingly good, so we're probably not going to be replacing that anytime soon. But this bow right here is 10 to 21 physical damage, which is 9 to 21 on our current bow, but our current bow is pretty much capped out on affixes. And this one is only 189 gold. So that means we still have 344 gold left over. And we're going to augment it. Hope for something good. 6 life per enemy killed. Not ideal. Nothing else we can do to it for right now. But shifting this over here. You can do a quick look and see our DPS goes up a hair. And so we'll probably stick with this bow for right now, but we'll need to get a better bow.
Hello.
This thing, however, will disenchant into a regal shard, and we are going to need regals later on in the game, so that gets us another regal shard. Back to the grind. Oh, Rusty, come on out and play. Get your lightning rods down. Remember, you can kite him back towards your lightning rod pack rather than recasting it. Make sure you dodge his little arrowy thing. His sword, thrust, whatever. And everything is dead. Look, we can use our escape shot. So fancy. Alright, Druid time. Same plan as always. Drop lightning rods on the ground. Do damage to him. Now this guy will teleport away relatively early in the fight, so when he does that, make sure you dodge his next ability. Get your lightning rods down and do damage. We're going to get a stun here with him standing in a bunch of lightning rods, so that's ideal. Get a lot of damage out on him. Watch that rock. Hurts. And collect your loot. Easy peasy. And we're up to the consort. Same as always. Drop lightning rods. 12 of them is the limit, so get them down. Spend your points before you fight the boss. Roll out of the little AoEs that drops down. Rinse, repeat. Gonna get a stun on her here, so make sure you have a bunch of arrows down for the stun. That way you can DPS. And she dead. Now where we are currently is we did get another support gem, so we added chain to lightning arrow. This just allows lightning arrow to chain additional times. Additional times mean additional procs on lightning rod. It lowers your clear DPS with lightning arrow a little bit, so you're going to use lightning rod and arrow for clear. Still have escape shot down here. Our gear hasn't changed at all, but we did pick up a blacksmith whetstone, which will be really nice. We're going to hold on to that until we hit level 11, because at level 11 we get a new bow base, and so we'll be looking to upgrade our bow at level 11. Oh, Praetor, come on out and play. It helps when you're dropping these if you kind of drop them towards the other side of where the boss is going to be, because if you stun him, it's always going to be knocked back into the arrows. Of course, this guy decided to charge us, so we're not going to get a good stun early on him. And get some nice damage in here. And he's stunned, or he's going to stun. I mean, we don't die to being destroyed there. So he's going to stun right here. Again, we want the arrows to be generally behind him, so that then we can attack him like this. And boss dead. Get our loots. And we're 9, so we're getting close to level 11 for upgrades. So far everything else is just melted. Don't forget, you want to break down the oak great hammer. That way you can get sockets out of that hammer. Don't just sell that to the vendor. Make sure you use the bench to break it down. Alright, on Lachlan, be very careful. He hits really hard your first time around. You don't want to be anywhere near him because his little cleave does a ridiculous amount of damage. You can dodge out of that, and you can dodge out of that. And just try to keep your arrows down and stay as far away from him as you can. Ooh. He hits you like that. There we go. We got him in some rods and stunned. Get some damage out on him. Stay far, far away. Everything he does almost kills you.
I knew something wasn't right.
Get his loots here. Got another uncut skill gem, but we're only using lightning rod and lightning arrow right now. You could upgrade your escape shot, but that's not going to really do much for us in the long run. Yo, yo, yo. We got our first exalted orb from the little druid. Time to do some shopping. Alright, so once you have acquired your first exalted orb, the first thing that you're going to want to do is clear out your inventory space. We'll go ahead and make some room here. Come on, Una. Get your stuff together. Thank you. I know. Disenchant items. All this, well, this one we need to break down with our bench. So remember, break these things down with your salvage bench. Very important. All of these materials that we can. But for our exalted orb, we're going to get a weapon. So we want a bow. We want it to be at least level 10. Or at maximum level 10. And really, we want a quill rain. And we want a quill rain for a couple of reasons. For one, we're going to be able to utilize that with weapon swap for a lot of our leveling. And for 2, it's just going to be a really strong bow for us to have at this point in the game. So we're going to search for Quill Rains, and we're going to search for Quill Rains based on their total DPS, and then we're going to set our budget at 1 Exalted Orb. So, here we go. Quill Rain 1, 83 DPS, 78, 63, down the list to 57, 56, 45, 31. So ideally we would want one of these two right here. They're already socketed with the lightning that we need, and those would be good bows for us. We'll see if we can get a response from either of these people on our Quill Rain for our first little Exalty Orb. Now our next best option is going to be this one, because this one has flat fire damage corrupted onto it, and it has 2 empty sockets on it, so we can get some runes to put in there. I don't think we have found any as of yet, but we will find some of those as we go. This one would be our next best option beyond that, because it is uncorrupted, so it could be corrupted, and it has 2 empty runes on it currently. So we'll see if we can get a response from them. We'll give this guys a little invitey poo and see if maybe they're not paying attention. Oh, the joys of PoE trade shopping. Brings tears to my heart. WRE declined our invite, which means he's both not AFK and not trading us the bow. We do want it to be a Quill Rain though, and we would like it to be a good Quill Rain for us. And we're going to get that one. Check back in a few minutes when he decides to invite us. We got the invite. Let's go get our Quill Rain. Now you click on the little portal image up here to teleport to that person. Now if they're in a location you don't have access to yet, obviously you can't do that. And so you'll just have to whisper them and say, hey, I can't access that area. But normally you can just click on the little portal and get to them. So we will go back to town. Equip our new fancy Quill Rain. And go practice with it. Pew pew. This is obviously a monumental damage increase overall for us. The attack speed will allow us to trigger our lightning rods much more quickly. Don't stand and poop and die though. That's still a bad thing. Now mana will be more of an issue, so you will have to keep your flask updated, because Quill Rain attacks much faster, therefore spends mana much faster. But it will be a great upgrade for your character, and then once we get a better bow for Lightning Rod, we'll talk about how to utilize weapon swaps later on down the road. Oh, King in the Mist time. Same strategy as always, but with the new bow. Quill Rain's attack speed is just so beneficial to the build in general. Get your lightning rods down. Dodge purple stuff. Don't forget you can also use bow shot if you ever run out of flash charges. And you can die 3 seconds after the boss is dead. Do all kinds of random stuff. Oh, and there's a Widow Hail on the ground. Welcome to the misery of Huey. Painful. Super painful. Alright, we're back in town. Go ahead and spend our passive points. Now, this Vile Wounds is going to be really strong for us because we always have a shock on the target. And so that's 33% increased damage. We're going to need to move down to this Quiver bonus because this Quiver bonus is really strong and we've got a very good Quiver off of our first gamble. So we're going to move down in that direction. We did unlock a Spirit Gem by killing King in the Mist, and so we're going to open up our Spirit Gem here. Now, Herald of Ice is a really, really good Herald for clear, but we don't have any way to deal cold damage or to chill yet, and so we're going to go ahead and take Herald of Thunder for right now. Herald of Thunder will be some additional damage on our clear, but Herald of Ice would be much better. There are all kinds of ways we can use Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder to interact with one another to assist with clear, though. We may get into that later in the game once we have a little bit bigger budget and we have some more spirit that we can utilize to take advantage of Heralds. We also got another support gem, and so the support gem is going to go onto Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod being our primary damage ability is going to need to get some additional damage put on it. And Primal Armament is the best, but we don't have access to Primal Armament yet because that's a tier 2 gem. So instead we're going to use an infusion, and we'll be using Lightning Infusion because we are doing no cold and no fire damage. And so this will not hinder our cold or fire damage in any way. And our bow here is lightning damage. Our quiver over here is all physical damage, which gets converted into lightning. So we'll be running Lightning Rod with Scatter Shot and Lightning Infusion. Alright, Crowbell time. Get your lightning arrows down. He's gonna phase. Make sure you're throwing your lightning arrows down a little bit behind him here. Get a good stun and a lot of damage and hopefully get him to phase here. There we go. Now you can keep doing damage to him here, but he takes massively reduced damage. Now it's best to stay kind of close to him in here because it's easier to dodge his abilities like that. We get our book. And we get a little bit of gear here. Is this going to be a good helm? Certainly better than what we have. And we'll also get our Book of Specialization. Now, later on, we will be using weapon swapping. Probably not a big emphasis on weapon sets because our damage is going to be similar with... Our damage requirements are going to be similar with both of our weapon swaps. But for right now, we'll just continue moving down towards Master Fletching. And hello, Executioner. No changes to our gear, no changes to our strategy. It's still going to be rods and arrows, rods and arrows. And Executioner is dead. Don't sleep on all the mobs that spawn afterwards, though. Make sure you do kill those guys.
That would only slow me down.
Now we're going to get another support gem here. And our support gem is going to go on Lightning Arrow. And for Lightning Arrow, I believe we're going to want Innervate. Innervate is going to give us the ability to get damage whenever we kill a target that is shocked. So 35% of damage for killing a shocked enemy, which is going to massively help with clear. So that is very, very good. The other option we have is Martial Tempo, and Martial Tempo will allow us to trigger lightning arrows, or sorry, lightning rods more rapidly. So we'll go with Martial Tempo for right now, just to increase our lightning arrow clear. Good news, good news. We got a Sapphire Ring. Now, Sapphire Rings are very important because they can be chanced into very expensive rings. And because they can be chanced into very expensive rings, they're valuable. So we are going to be able to get some currency out of this ring. So first off, we need to open up Exile Exchange because I don't have it open. Exile Exchange is an app that you should be using, but we can go ahead and look at the average price of a Sapphire Ring, and we'll open up our trade here, get flashbanged. And so we're looking for any normal Sapphire Ring. And the cold rose doesn't matter. The eye level also doesn't matter. So we'll look at normal Sapphire Rings. And you can see they're selling for, on average, 3 to 4 to 5 Exalted Orbs. Somewhere around that range. This looks like 4 may be something that we get a price point on, but because we're in no hurry, we'll set this for 5 Exalted Orbs to start with and see if we get a Whisper. And if we get a bunch, we'll raise it to 6. If we get 1 or 2, we'll sell it for 5x. And we immediately get a Whisper. And we get 2. I think 2 is fair enough Whispers for that. So let's get our 5 Exalted Orbs, and then we get to go shopping. Come on down, Yazuri. And I wish you all the luck on your Dream Fragments dancing. So when you're selling an item, again, you need to have a premium stash tab. You right click on it, you set a price, and then someone will whisper you. When they whisper you, you invite them to a party. The buyer typically goes to the seller. Open trade with them. Yazuri got the lags. Give him the Sapphire Ring. Collect your 5 Exalted Orbs. And this is a great amount of starting currency for us to continue putting our character together. Now this quiver is surprisingly good, so we're probably not going to change this quiver out. We really could use some rings, and a very important ring to have whenever you're leveling is going to be a Blackheart Iron Ring. Blackheart Iron Ring has a 25% chance to intimidate enemies on hit, and what that means is that they deal less damage to you and they take more damage. Additionally, it has regeneration and flat chaos damage. Now we would prefer to have a very high amount of regeneration. We're going to go ahead and set our budget to 1 Exalted Orb here. We're going to sort by regeneration because recovery will help us a lot. And then we also want to make sure that we have good chaos damage to attacks. It's like, here's a 5 to 10. Looks like this is the only one that's going to be available for us anyway that's got a good one. This guy's selling this for alchemy orbs, which we don't care anything about. Another one for one exalted orb that popped up. There's one for two exalted orbs down here. We'll see if we can get one of these here. Also has some casual little friendly invites. He declined our party invite. Like Black Heart Iron Rings might not be on the schedule today. This one is listed in at 3 exalted orbs. And I don't think I want to spend all of our exalted orbs on that right now. So we're going to hold off on that. Second most important thing for our character is going to be movement speed boots. Now, we're level 13, and so the highest movement speed boots that we're going to have access to are going to be probably the unique boots, because they will have 20 movement speed on them. And then they'll be available to us at a requirement level 13 and a budget of 1 exalted orb. We have to take the Black Heart Iron Ring name out of our search tool. And so we're just going to be sorting by the highest move speed, and of course it's all these Wanderlust. And so Wanderlust is a really good low-level boot. Briar Patch boots can also be good, and Briar Patch has more evasion rating. These are a little bit harder to find sometimes. These have Dex and Max Energy Shield. These have Energy Shield on them as well. The Briar Patch has evasion rating on it. I think I would prefer to have the additional Energy Shield. We can look for a corrupted version that has a useful corruption on it. And so we'll sort by this. We'll set our minimum to 20%. And we'll look for anything that has a good corruption on it. Looks like only 2 of these were corrupted. This one has a 23% lightning res corruption on it. That's really strong. Although I would rather have the energy shield from this one up here. So, look for any corruption. Looks like not a lot of people are corrupting these Wanderlust sandals. And so, if that is the case, we will go for the one that has the highest amount of energy shield. And if we can find one that already has a socket on it, that would be great. Like this one right here. We'll go ahead and whisper on this 23% lightning res Briar Patch boots. That 23% lightning res is actually really nice. Give them a casual little invite. See if we can incentivize them to trade with us. And no dice from either of those, so we're just going to drop down the list and get some responses. Got one. Again, use the portal up there to teleport to their hideout because you are the buyer and not the seller. Now these do have an int requirement to use, so we are going to have to change our stats so that we have a little bit more int.
A shift in my training.
So we'll go int and int, and that'll take us from 12 to 22. Now we got move speed and energy shield, and it gives us a little bit of dex back that we lost. We've got 4 exalted orbs. We'll hold on to those for right now, and we will find some other items that we can get to improve our character. Fox Shade is a really good chest piece, as well as Gloom is. Meganord's Girdle is another really good belt option. We can obviously pick up rings, and rings are good options. Gloves, we have some percent attack speed gloves that are available that are unique skill speed. And then a helm, we can look for things like gold rim. Although I don't think gold rims are low as well. So why don't we go ahead and pick up a gold rim while we're at it, because resistances are very, very good. So there's 34 and a 34. We'll see if we can get one of those. Natalia. I appreciate you, Natalia. Thank you very much. There goes our gold rim. Oh, she's so cute. Look at that little gold rim. We can look for Fox Shade, because Fox Shade is move speed, and move speed is good. We're going to set our budget to 1 exalted orb. We're going to sort by evasion rating, because evasion rating would be the most important thing for us. This one is already kindly socketed and has a little bit of quality on it. This would be the ideal one for us. This guy doesn't respond. We'll go down the list and grab another one of these. A little casual invite. Boo. Boo. Join us. Tell us your Fox Shade. While we're waiting for him to respond, we can also pick up a Polkirk helm. This would be very good for us if we had a source of cold damage or triggering Herald chains. We're probably going to hold off on that for right now, though. Oh, we lost int from our helmet. While we're waiting to see if Boo is going to sell us the item, let's fix our stats again.
Winds change direction.
Go. We are at 1,269 gold, so we're still doing fine on gold. And we're not getting a response from old Boo there. So we're going to search the 2 Exalted Orb budget, Fox Shades. And nothing comes up that stands out, so we'll just go down the list up here. Pick up one of these 114s. Lower our budget back down to 1. Just drop down the list until someone decides to respond. Got one. Look at his little minion army. Thank you, sir. Now we can get back to leveling and move around much more quickly than we did before. We are in the Manor Ramparts. When good news comes, it comes in droves. We just got a greater essence of the infinite. This thing is going to give us access to a huge budget for leveling our character. They sell for an average of 1 div a piece, although we don't want to sell it for divines because an individual divine orb does nothing for us, and we currently don't have access to currency exchange. So we're going to sell it for exalted orbs, and that's going to probably net us about 130 to 140 exalted orbs. So first things first, go and get this thing listed up. See if we can't get some good currency to work with. Hello, premium stash tabs. QE is pay to win. Alright. Greater Essence, listed in here. We'll test it at 145 exalted orbs first. And see if we get some responses on that. Back to the leveling. Old Candlemass. See what you got.
First ones.
Same plan as always. Drop your lightning rods.
Ever further into the dark. Shadows hover above us. In the corners.
Then dump damage into him.
Come among us that so unsettles our minds. It sits poised to strike. Nowhere is safe.
Nice and easy. Get our loot. Move on. We got our cell. We had to lower it to 120 exalted orbs to get people's attention because the majority of these are sold on currency exchange, but at this level we don't yet have access to the currency exchange. So we just lower it below the market to get the interest of the flippers. Here you go, Mr. Flipper. Thank you for your contribution to our leveling funds. We appreciate you. 120x. We'll do some shopping later. Oh, Geonor, come on out and play. Keep your rods down, do lots of damage. Be careful. His abilities all hit really hard. Make sure you stay topped up as much as possible. And then take a lot of advantage of these phases where you get to stun him. Just dump the damage out as fast as you can. Be careful on this one. These things hit hard. And then on this phase, when he talks shit, try to dodge like 2 seconds after he talks shit. And you'll have a greater chance of not getting hit by it. And Geonor dead. Thank you, sir. Give me your loots. Sir? Alright. We are going to go ahead and replace our Quill Rain as our main weapon here. And so to do that, we are going to find a bow that is a good fit for us. We're going to set our budget to 5 Exalted Orbs. We're going to set our level to 16 and our damage per second minimum to 90. And that's going to return us these Splinter Heart bows that have lightning in them already. Oh, all of this one, and this one. Both of those are chaos damage rolls. Those are good bows. A fire damage roll is a good bow. 2 Exalted Orb on this one. So it has a very high damage and 2 open sockets that we could slot in lightning into. And so this one is excellent, and same with this one, but this one is only 2 Exalted Orbs. So let's see if we can snag a great deal. We got it. Now we cannot teleport to him, so we need to let him know that we cannot teleport to him. Wadib. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for this wonderful bow. Now, we're also going to need some lightning runes. And to get these lightning runes, normally we would just buy these off the exchange, but since we don't have access to the exchange right now, we can just go ahead and buy them from other people. And so we're going to look at buying lightning runes, we're going to look at the Exalted Orb cost on them, and we're probably going to get several of these for an Exalted Orb, 3 of these for an Exalted Orb here. Now these people are probably not going to be very responsive. Here's a 2 for 1 Exalted Orb. Another 2 for 1 Exalted Orb. Here's a 6 for 1 Exalted Orb. A 2 for 10. I would take 2 for 10. Got an invite. Legendary. No. Was 1 for 6. That is an excellent deal for us. Thank you, Legendary Snow. And we will go back to our town here. And that'll be the end of our first little act here. We'll review everything. We'll need to get another quiver here. Let's get a quiver first. So we'll shop for a quiver here. Yeah, no, we need a quiver. Asphyxia's is not a bad low-level quiver. And they can be had for cheap. They have enemies chilled, take increased damage, we gain 10% extra as cold. And so we can get these for relatively inexpensive. We'll set a 1 Exalted Orb equivalent here. And then we only want ones that have at least 10% of extra damage as cold. So this will be a good temporary quiver for us. Also sort this by attack speed. Looks like the Philindra, that's a good one. We'll take that one. Now, one thing I will caution you on when you're shopping for your character while you're leveling, don't spend all of your currency in one place, because you're going to need to make changes to your character as you're progressing, and having the ability to buy things as you need them is way better than being stuck without what you need. So spend your currency on upgrades while you're leveling, and try to limit it to 1 to 2 Exalted Orbs per upgrade. That way you can stay in a strong position the entire time you're leveling. So now we have Splinter Heart available to us, which is going to be a tremendously large damage increase over Quill Rain. But what we can do is take our Lightning Arrow and bind this specifically to Quill Rain. So our Lightning Rod is going to be on weapon set 2, which means our Lightning Rod DPS is going to be double what it was with Quill Rain. And then our Lightning Arrow is simply going to be spamming out Quill Rain attacks to trigger all of the empowered lightning rods that we dropped with the Splinter Heart recurved bow. And so that'll be really good for us from a bossing perspective. And let's go ahead and roll into Act 2 and see how everything goes. Welcome to the next part. Alright, before we get started on Wrathbreaker here, let's go over a summary of where we're at the end of Act 1. We got a Splinter Heart and a Quill Rainbow with some quivers. We have our gold rim that we've purchased, Fox Shade. We found a Revered Resin Amber Amulet. Got a little ring for some resistance, a little iron ring for fizz damage that we haven't done anything with. Our gloves are the same gloves we started with, nothing new on the belt. And then we did pick up our Wanderlust boots. Our passive tree looks like this, with a lot of extra damage coming from our quivers here. We're going to be diving straight down, going down here, coming into Emboldened Avatar, Forces of Nature, into Flash Storm, and finally Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod being the largest single damage that we can get off of the tree as a non-crit based character. For our skills, we are using Lightning Arrow with Chain and Martial Tempo. This is bound to Weapon Slot 1, which is our Quill Rain, so that we can trigger our Lightning Rods, which are bound to Weapon Slot 2, which is our Splinter Heart. We have Escape Shot just to get out of nasty areas, and we have a Herald with Innervate and Concentrated Effect to assist with our clear. Now let's go ahead and get in here to the boss. You can see from a clear perspective, Lightning Rod does so much damage that that's going to be our primary clear for us right now. And then we're only going to use Quill Rain or Lightning Arrow to damage the boss once Lightning Rods are down. And then boss damage looks as such. Very solid damage with utilizing the attack speed from Quill Rain, and then the damage from Splinter Heart on the Lightning Rod. And we got a Glacial Rune. That could come in handy. Don't forget to pick up your loot. Alright, Raja, let's do this thing. Get your rods down. Get your Quill Rain going. And Raja dead. No changes to our build, we're just kind of trucking with everything we got at the beginning of Act 2. So we'll keep on going. Oh, blah blah. It's been a while since I've seen you. We have added Orb of Storms as an alternative way to trigger our arrows. We do have that available to us now. Blah blah has a little bit of an annoying habit of dodging all over the place, making lightning arrows not quite as effective on him. And so we're going to be better off utilizing our lightning arrow, because it's tough to keep everything together in one place. Uh-oh. Ah, blah blah. Give me my trial token.
So that's my reward.
Now, this trial token will give you access to the trial of Sekis, so that you can pick your Ascendancy class. Since we'll be leveling as a Deadeye, this is very valuable to us. We are level 19, and that's still a little early, in my opinion, to do the trial, so we're going to go ahead and finish off this area, and probably do the trial afterwards. Oh, Jamunra. We can kind of load up Jamunra with some stuff here first. And then put some damage out.
leave you to the sand. I shall
Get a stun on him.
Sakama and leave
Be
you
out
to
of
the
mana.
sand. I tried to seek peace.
Forever out of mana.
Sakama's disgraced me. Drop to the sand. This time, we choose war. We shall finish this, but not today.
Make haste. We must not escape.
Look at him run.
Shaman-Ra dead. Alright, let's get it, Ekab and whatever your name is. Get your Orb of Storms down. Get your Lightning Rods down. And then do damages. Ideally, you probably want to kill these things at about the same time. But it's alright if you don't always. Got them both.
Another necromancer.
Alright, we are gonna do a little bit of shopping here. We have gloves that we've been using since level 1 and a belt we've been using since level 4, and neither of them are doing anything for us. Now, primarily we're going to want defensive pieces for these slots, so we're going to be looking for gloves that have resistances and maximum life on it, preferably evasion-based gloves. And then we're going to be looking for belts that have maximum life and maximum mana, as well as resistances and strength on. So first things first are our gloves. We'll go ahead and search. We'll sort by sum total of resistances on them. Looks like we don't get a whole lot of choices here. This one has a leech physical damage as mana. We don't actually do much physical damage, so that's not really valuable to us. In life per enemy hit with attacks is relatively valuable, but it looks like on the resistance side, we're not going to get a whole lot. So we're going to look and get the one that has the most evasion on it. This one right here. It also has a 20 maximum rune in it. That's not really valuable to us. Of course, this guy is no longer online. We're going to sort again. Look for something with evasion. Says he's online, but he is not. Nothing with big evasion on it that's going to fit what we're looking for. I'm going to drop the maximum life a little bit, and that opens up some options for us here. Why do you show online in trade but not online in... Nothing that becomes a strong option. This one right here has energy, or life per enemy hit with attacks, and 20% lightning res. Do need lightning res. We'll go ahead and try to grab this one. This one with lightning and fire and high max life and fire damage to attacks is good. 2 exalted orbs. That's higher than we would normally want to spend, but it would also be a good choice for us. Got the first one, the one that we would prefer. Go to his hideout, pick it up, and look for belts. Thank you for the gloves, sir. Now for belts, we're also going to sort by resistances, cold and lightning, and a little bit of life regeneration. That's a good. This one also with cold and lightning and a little life regeneration. Also a good one. Either one of those would be solid choice. We're going to get an invite. Both of those are the best ones by a large margin. Try a little party invite to both of these guys, see if we get some attention. No dice. Give them a minute. And we'll also look for a ring. The same thing on the rings. We're looking for similar things, but we can have implicit cold res, implicit fire res, and implicit lightning res. Implicits would be like on ruby rings. How they have a affix that is implied in the item. You can look at all ele res as well, and implicit all ele res, because those would be prismatic rings. We still want maximum life, maximum mana on our ring. Sort these. Search what we got. That would be a really good one right there. This one has cast speed on it, which doesn't matter, but the life per enemy killed is nice. That one would also be good. Like we got the first one from Fuji. That's a really good. Place our iron ring with that one right there. That'll get us capped on fire res and much better on cold and lightning. This is a really, really strong ring for it. Now we'll go back to looking at belts, and fire res is no longer valuable to us on the belt. Sort. So this cold and lightning res one right here. So the same two belts that we were looking at before. Got a deal. We can lower our life, our mana requirements, and see if that opens up some better options for us. This one is new. Looks like got the sapphire ring. We actually don't need. So I'm sorry. We'll take it. It's okay. This is still good for it. We'll lose a little bit of fire res, but we'll cap our cold res. Also means that we need fire res, pulls off cold res on our belt. That gives us some better options anyway. Not really any better options, but this one with fire res would be fine. This one with lightning res would be fine. This one with an extra charm slot isn't. We got 69 lightning. We could be okay with 69 lightning if we could get this fire res belt right here from Ile. Awesome. A courtesy invite. Courteously our invite. AC. We'll do this one. Not the best choice for us. We would rather have the fire res belt, but this will be good for us getting going. So this will get us in the right direction to get our stats rolling. Kind of do another quick summary here of our character. This will put us up to 622 life, which would be much better in the game. Getting going. At around level 25, we can actually change boots out because we can get some 25% boots without having to, or some 20% move speed boots at level 25. So that will be very nice. We did get a couple of support gems, and so we now have overabundance on our Orb of Storms, so that we can drop 2 of them whenever we're spamming out lightning rods and lightning arrows. So that'll help on damage. So our passive tree, going down this part of the passive tree, we're going for Emboldened Avatar, for Flash Storm, and Lightning Rod again. On our gear, we are still using primarily the Splinter Heart for Lightning Rod, Gold Ring for Lightning Arrow, with the Gold Rim, the Fox Shade, Revered Resin Amulet we found. Not an amazing amulet, but good enough for us right now. We just picked up some rings and some gloves and a belt. That'll round out our gear for right now. We'll melt down and sell off all this other stuff, and we will get back to leveling. Alright, let's get started on our trial here. Get our Deadeye Ascendancy going. Blah blah. Hello. So trial, put in your Berea, obviously the relics that I have from before, but we're not going to be using those. We'll put in the one relic we do have, and confirm. Now the trial is pretty straightforward, and most of the trial is just don't get hit by stuff. You have honor, which reduces every time you get hit. When you run out of honor, the trial is over. And then you'll take general damage as well, but general damage to your character only in the trial if it kills you. Well, stones will rumble in the area before they come down. This is a trap trial. So most of this is just avoiding traps on the ground. There's a few little creatures that you have to fight though. The keys are used to open up loot at the end of the trial. And then killing creatures also grants you Sacred Water. Sacred Water is a currency that you can use to spend on rewards in the trial. These are things that affect your success or the outcome of the trial itself. And then in between each room in the trial, you'll have something that you can interact with in some way, depending on the selection you make. So we start off, we get a large Sacred Water Fountain. It just gives us some of this Sacred Water currency that we can spend during the trial. Now this one awards a Sacred Water Fountain, but also penalizes us with an affliction that makes us have less honor. This one awards a key. This one awards a shrine that restores honor. And if we pick this one, then the next room we can go to is only a bronze key. If we pick this one, we can go to either a bronze key or a trial that causes us to take damage on room completion. Now 19 damage doesn't sound like a lot, but that 19 damage does hit your honor. So we would not want to take one of those this early in the trial, because then we're going to get hit every time we go through a room. So we'll take the awards or restores honor trial, because that's the safest one. The second room that we're forced to take is just a bronze key that doesn't have any inherent penalty. Another trap room where you're just generally avoiding things. Whatever you choose room, you can the type of room it is. You know what you're getting yourself into. Watch out for these little guys. They don't do a lot of damage, but remember, any damage you take is a hit to honor, and a hit to honor can kick you out of the trial. The trial is also a good place to have things like evasion, because an evaded attack does not hit you. If it doesn't hit you, it doesn't do any damage. If it doesn't do any damage, you don't take any damage to your honor. And so having evasion is a good thing to have in a trial. However, most of it is really just paying extra close attention to everything. Playing like every hit kills you will make you much more successful in the trial itself. And here we would normally spend 5 of our sacred water, which is a shrine of Mariketh or whatever. And that would restore 150 in honor, but we haven't taken any honor damage, so we don't need that. Now, our bronze key is our only choice. The next 2 rooms will be lose water on completion or monsters deal 30% more damage. We're probably going to take the lose water on completion, and we'll get to that point after this one. So these trial rooms are death crystals. Hit a death crystal, and then it shoots off a little wisp in a direction of the next one, and then you have a time frame in which you have to hit the next death crystal. If you do not hit the death crystals in time, then they all explode and they do damage to you. And if you miss like the first crystal or the second crystal on that timer, all of the crystals will explode and they will all do a rather large amount of damage to you. So it's very easy to get one-shotted by that if you don't get all of these crystals. Of course, while you're attacking these crystals, or while you're triggering these crystals, there will be creatures that you need to deal with. So deal with those. Just make sure you don't get too caught up in dealing with them that you end up missing a crystal.
Stand tall.
And you'll get a little sacred water as a reward for killing some of the guys in there. Then we'll collect our bronze key. Go to the next trial. Now here we have a choice between the lose sacred water or monsters deal 30% more damage. This, if we go this one, we have 2 options. One would be a bronze key, one would be a pledge. And then if we go this way, one will be a sacred water fountain. So this one we lose sacred water, so we lose 30, 60, 90. This fountain probably awards us more than 30, 60, 90. And so this would be a safe way to go. This way is safe to go if you're confident that you're not going to die to damage, because a pledge can give you both a boon and an affliction. And for now we'll go this way because the sacred water is not going to be that important to us on the first trial run, because it's unlikely that we're going to deal with a merchant. Now the blood chalice levels are levels that have rare mobs that you have to kill. So there would just be some more difficult creatures in here for you to have to deal with, like this rare guy here that of course has proximal tangibility. We got to be up on him to do damage to him. Dodge a little air attack. Move on to the next one.
A great challenge overcome.
Only 2 rares in there, so the challenge is done. We'll move on to the next room. Again, if we had taken honor damage, we would restore our honor right here. Other than that, we go and we select our next trial. So we have either sacred water or a pledge, and then a bronze key and a silver key as a reward. Now this one forces us to go to the bronze key. The bronze key gives us 2 options. One forces us to go to the silver key, and the silver key gives us 2 options. So we can't look any further ahead than 2 rooms right now, and we'll have to make a choice between these 2. The sacred water doesn't benefit us that much, but a pledge could. So we're going to take the pledge because there might be a really, really good boon in there for us.
Storm point.
Remember, don't get too caught up in fighting things that you run out of your timer on your death crystals. There's absolutely no penalty for leaving stuff alive in here. And we'll see what pledges we have to choose from. You'll get 3 choices of pledges. One will be gain an adrenaline vial, which is honor when entering a boss room, and burst within people, which is less damage dealt. A random minor boon, random minor affliction, fountain of youth, and a random minor affliction. I generally say unless the boon is major or impactful, never take anything, and we don't. Move on. We have a choice between the silver or the bronze key now. Bronze key will take us to less sacred water found or deal less damage. This one will take us to sacred water on floor complete. Probably the less sacred water found doesn't matter. And we have both of these ritual trials, so we don't have a choice as to which trial it is. And ritual trials are fairly simple. It is kill the little summoner guys, and all the other stuff will despawn. There you go. We did take one little hit of damage there, but it wasn't a terribly large amount of damage. And then we'll go with the less sacred water found. This is another escape room, so this is essentially just you have to find the exit to the room. And 9 times out of 10, the exit to the room is going to be through the traps. So always head towards the traps first. That's probably where you're going to be going anyway. Every time you pull a lever in here, it'll open one door and potentially close another. And the exit to the room should be up here. We are out of that trial. We'll collect our little sacred water here. And we'll be going up against Rattlecage. Now Rattlecage is a fairly straightforward boss. He'll spawn, he'll do an AoE around him, so don't be near him when he spawns. And then he will periodically summon things around the room that do damage to you that you need to avoid, and he'll chase you down and try to attack you. Not really too much to have to deal with in the fight, and our build is going to do really well because we have the ability to do damage from range.
Storming arrow.
Stun him right in there. No dice on the stun. Can get some good damage in during that stun. And Rattlecage is dead. Our little relic here, our face mask. Now you can talk to Blah Blah here, and he'll have stuff to sell, and this will be relics. Anything that says honor resistance is very good for you, especially starting out. He doesn't have anything here that says honor resistance, and so instead we'll convert all of our leftover sacred water to keys. That gives us a gold, a silver, and a couple of bronzes. We'll take a gold mage's cache, why not? A couple of rattling scepters. A silver boots cache, ooh, that would be nice. Boots to play with here. And then we have a couple of bronze keys as well. They're obviously much less valuable items. And then we select our Ascendancy, and we will be going Deadeye. You've got a lot of choices on where to go for Deadeye. You're probably going to go with Tailwind first, because point blank or long shot is not as valuable to it. Go skill speed here, Tailwind here. Later, when we get our second Ascendancy, we'll respec, because the extra projectile will be much better for it.
Time they see my arrow.
But for now, let's get back to leveling. Alright, Titan bossy time. This guy can be a little annoying, but we shouldn't have too many troubles with him. We'll get our orbs down, get some arrows down. And do some damage. I thought that arrow is where he's gonna be. Thank you, chicken. And here we really need the Orb of Storms to trigger the lightning rods because they don't like to chain off of his hitbox onto the lightning rods. So make sure you are using the Orb of Storms, especially for this fight. And boss dead. Alright, Naga time.
Storm point.
Same strategy as always. Drop orbs, drop arrows, burn everything. We'll get our book here, some loot. Keep on keeping. Boss time. This guy likes to stick his nose in the corner, and that's not always a good plan for him. Doesn't always work out well in his favor.
Storming arrow.
Same strategy as always. Get arrows down, drop a couple of orbs, and dump lightning arrows in. Easy. Lemon squeeze. A chaos orb. Ooh. Alright. It is shopping time. We hit level 28, which means we have access to dual string bows. Dual string bows are the best choice for a Deadeye, so we're going to go shopping. Now, dual string bows are not the only option. So we're going to go additional arrow or implicit additional arrow, because I don't really care if it's an additional arrow that's affix on the bow or if it's an additional arrow on the bow. Both of them work. We're also going to look for bows that have elemental damage with attacks, because that's an underrated attribute. And then we'll also look for ones that have projectile skills first. Now, we're going to set our budget at 15x. Again, we were fortunate. We got a greater infinite essence. It sold good. We don't want to spend all of our money. So first we'll look and see what is out there that looks like this. And so this one right off the top, that's a great option. We're going to sort by physical DPS first. And this one for 10x has elemental damage and 2 additional arrows. That's our bow. That's our bow right there. 141 DPS. Come on, my guy. Oh, wait. Nope. Oh, never mind. Sorry. We have to set it For the level of our character. That's my bad. Count on this. And we'll set this to a weighted sum. Elemental damage with attacks. And prod skills. We'll give prod skills a weight of like 20. And now we'll search. Now we'll sort by physical DPS. 99 phys DPS. Still good. Would like to have one that doesn't already have room. That would be ideal. 86, but it's corrupted. Can't add runes to a corrupted bow. 85, uncorrupted. Got some crit on it. We really don't care too much about crit. That's 15. Why don't we go and look at ones with no rune for physical damage, so that we have the option of adding that. We're not going to. We'll probably just add elemental damage to it, unless the bow has an amazing flat fizz roll. And that one's corrupted, so that one doesn't work. I think probably 70 DPS looks to be like a good margin for the physical DPS. And then we'll sort by sum to see if we can get anything that has good stats on it. This one has cold damage slammed into it, which is fine. That has no impact on us. This one has +1 proj. This one's corrupted, but that's okay that it's corrupted because the runes are already active on it. I assume those are cold runes and the corruption. Corruption. I would like to get one that has elemental damage and proj. 169. Doesn't have the proj, but it has life per enemy killed and life per... and 61%. And it's not corrupted. We would have to blacksmith that thing. That looks good. And it's only 10 exalted orbs. This one is 1x. And it's got 59%, and it's got life per enemy kill and mana per enemy kill. Jimmy Wimmy with the 10x one? Or do we hold out for Muli? I think we'll take the 10x one. Fine. Jimmy Wimmy. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll still try to buy Malisks, because that one was a really good deal too. And we might take this as an opportunity to have something to flip to another player as well. Does not look like Malisk is going to be selling us the bow. Alright, so we got a good bow. We have a few blacksmith whetstones, so we can go ahead and cut this a little bit. Got a lot out of it. And we have an artificers yet? Got one. One artificers. We'll need to wait until we get another one. We got 6 shards, so we're on our way there. And we will dump our lightning damage into this for right now. Got good flat fizz. Do we have a fizz rune? We do have a fizz rune. No, that's the wrong fizz. We don't have a fizz rune yet. We could buy one, but we'll just use our lightning runes for now. This is going to be a good bow period. This bow will replace our weapon swap entirely, so we will only be using this bow. It ended up being a total of 80 DPS on the bow, which is really solid for us. Paid 1 for this, so we'll put this back in and sell for 2x. No, we'll try selling it for 3. We did put the rune. This one will show up very high on trade. Already got level 8 skills everywhere that matters. Staff is nothing special. And so I think that'll be a good bow for us. We'll get back to leveling. Oh, looky, looky. Sold our bow for a profit. So this is why I always say, make sure you're spending the minimum necessary to get a good item for you. Because you can always make improvements to the items and turn around and sell them for a profit. Hello, Mrs. Fuzzlebutt. Enjoy our old bow. Oh, anxious for it. Profits! Now, Quill Rain is no longer necessary, so we'll go ahead and put that up for sale. Our Asphyxias we'll put up for sale as well. We'll just turn the X and 2X. We also found this scepter that we're trying to sell. Haven't sold it yet. We'll see if we can. Alright. 4 gold.
You are relentless,
Come on out.
but that makes you predictable. The time of the fighting is now.
Get our lightning arrows down. Then we're going to drop our orbs. Then damages. Same thing, we'll drop some more lightning arrows. Drop a couple of orbs. And damage. Got him. Alright, we are at Jamanra. You know the drill.
The fool under the hooded one's
Rods and arrows.
Do you even know
We
what
would like
he
to
is?
have moved over to a cast on shock addition to the build, but we have not found a spirit gem in a long time. So we're just not going to have cast on shock for a while. It's not really that good until 41 anyway, though. That's okay. Drop Orb of Storms. Drop Lightning Arrows. Dodge out of bad damage. Same old, same old. Little lightning roddy things can be annoying, but thankfully we got a stun off in time. And fade. Now this guy is mostly easy, and we could probably take his big cleave, but his big cleave does a lot of damage. That's the only thing you really want to pay attention to. Dodge it really helps to be close to him. So that's this thing. Still hit us. Same strategy. Drop rods. Drop Orb of Storms. And lightning arrow into the boss. Out, Jamana. No, Sekima. Cut his fucking head off.
Not over.
Alright, quick recap before we head into Act 3. We have moved our passive tree down to get Flash Storm, picked up Forces of Nature, and Emboldened Avatar. We have continued using Lightning Arrow with Chain and Martial Tempo, Lightning Rod with Scatter Shot and Lightning Infusion, Gale of Thunder with Innervate and Concentrated Effect, and Orb of Storms with Overabundance here. On our items, we're still using Gold Rim, Fox Shade, and Wanderlust. Still have our level 4 quiver, although we should probably start looking at upgrading this. We're still using our Revered Resin Amber Amulet, which we should upgrade, and then the rare rings and the rare gloves and the rare belt that we purchased at level 22. Our bow is the dual string bow that we purchased at level 28. We still need to get another socket for it, but it is doing a very good job with what it's doing for right now. And so that'll be our recap for the end of Act 2. Moving on to Act. Oh, Root Reg. Fancy meeting you here, sir. No problem. Still no Spirit Gem. We sure could use a Spirit Gem. Alright, it's shopping time again. We're going to want to try to put together a cast on shock setup to assist with our boss DPS. In order to do that, we are going to need some gear. So we're going to start off by looking for a body armor. We have 4 body armors that fit the criteria of needing at least 30 spirit, so we can activate cast on shock now, and then add our herald back in later once we kill the witch. And then at least some int on there so that we have some relief from our stats. Now we're going to also look through these and see if there's one that is resistances. So this one right down here for 1 exalt would be perfect. This one with the double stats, dex and int, would be our second choice. That guy is AFK. So let's see if Ik Mochte, is that German? And the courtesy invite. Oh, that's a good one. This one would be next best one, but only because it has both max life and reasonable evasion and energy shield. Oh, LEDL managed. Get us one. Go. Alright, now it only has 4 fixes on it, 2 open prefixes, and so we're going to go ahead and hit it with Exalted Orbs and spend some crafting money to hopefully make this thing better. 30% evasion energy shield and flat evasion energy. Both very, very good additional items. This will be awesome. That's the first part of what we need. The next thing we need is an amulet. We're looking for amulets with at least 30 int and dex or all stats and 30 of some resistance. There's not going to be a lot of these out there. That one is bare minimum one. This one has +1 all maximum res. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit maximum resistances, but that one would be very good. This one has the lowest total sum, but this one can be crafted on. And it's got a little bit of flat energy. But we got the one that was the best one. Remember, the seller sits still and the buyer goes to the seller. However, can't. There we go. Right. Got an Amy. There's a little bit of life. Gain a little bit of energy shield. Max mana is nice. And then all attributes. Now we're going to have to run Cast on Shock at 72 int. So we need to make a few different things on our intelligence here. Go visit our little hooded one. We haven't really spent any gold on anything, so we're well above our gold. And we'll need int here and int here. This will allow us to equip this. That'll put us up to 56 int. And what dex do we need for our lightning rod? At least 72 dex for our lightning rod. Can't give up any more dex. So we're gonna have to get some int or dex from something like a ring. We could also replace our boots, although our boots are giving us dex right now. But we'll look at boots first, because these boots are dated. So we're looking for boots. We obviously don't need spirit anymore. We want a total sum of, we'll try 30 dex and int on boots, and movement speed 20. Nothing there. What if we drop this down to 20 on the dex or int for boots? Go. This will give us a little bit more dex. We need two options here. Neither of these are particularly amazing boots, so I don't think that we're going to get this on boots. I think instead we'll go to a ring. So we'll be looking for the same stats that we had on the amulet as we get on the ring. Difference is we can get all LE here, get elicited all LE, get implicit cold, implicit fire, lightning. Now resistances don't have to be capped in the campaign, that's not critical, but we do want to have good resistances in general. We're going to sort this by resistances. We can get up to 41 if we sort it by stats. Get up to 45. This is a good ring overall, so we'll try to grab that one first. This one is also good with 54 max life and some lightning damage to attacks on it. But only 2 exalted orbs. Looks like we got the first one from Milo's here. Go back over to Act 3. The act you're in will adjust your resistance penalty. Now, this one is 8% all res and fire. This one is lightning and fire. So we'll replace our fire ring. That'll keep our fire and our lightning capped. Our cold is still going to be a little low, but that's okay for right now. This will get us the int we need, and we're way over the dex that we need. So we can come in here, cast on shock, equip our cast on shock, and we are going to use one of our lesser jeweler's orbs. We actually got 2 of these on our cast on shock. And then we're going to need to cut a low level spark. Spark we're going to use to shock. And then we're going to pull our Orb of Storms off And we're going to use that to shock. We're also going to leave abundance on there for the Orb of Storms so that we can get more of those out. Although, I think one Orb of Storms is probably fine. Instead, we get energy retention. Nope, that's tier 3. And impetus is tier 2. Yep, so we'll leave the abundance on here until we get some higher tier items. Now we will come in here and our old gear will always go back up for sale, just in case we get it sold. We'll lower this down to 2x because it hasn't sold. We'll lower this down to 1x because it hasn't sold. We'll lower this one down to 3. And then we'll set this one at 1. Go. Put everything else away. Set our ring in here for one exalted orb that we just removed. And back to leveling. And we got a big old monkey here. Let's clear out some of this stuff first, so we're not fighting all this while we're fighting the monkey. There we go. Get your lightning rods down and lightning arrow. Cast on shock will get your orb of storm out and throw some sparks out there to help with damage. Later on, once we've got the build fully put together, you won't need to use lightning arrow with this. You'll just be able to spam your lightning rods out. But until we get a little bit more gear pieces and stats together, we'll still be alternating between the two. Goodbye, Mr. Monkey. Thank you for the double gauntlets. They're probably bad. Bitch time. Girl. Girl is so annoying. But, got lightning rod just in time. Same as always, just spam arrows into her. We got a good little spam right there. Peter, get off your broom. Got her. Oh, it's Kimmy. I got some lightning rods for you, Kimmy. Oh, you dirty chimera. Alright, let's get some damage into her. No! So this boss, you can stand in the middle and then attack the tower that he lands on, and it'll always hit him. It'll always pause him. But if you don't attack the tower that he lands on quickly, he'll leap off of it. So important that you hit it. Got a nice little stun going. Drop some more lightning rods. Got a nice little cast on shot going. Oof, almost. He got away. Get the rods down, get the lightning arrows going, and he done. He done, son. Alright, we're about to go fight Blackjaw, but we did get a few skill gems that we needed. And so first things first, we are going to Lesser Jeweler's Orb our lightning rod here. We got an uncut T2 support that we can put on it, so we can primal armament that thing. And we're going to go ahead and add a curse, so that we have conductivity now. as our curse. And on conductivity, we're going to go ahead and put Titan Curse. First ground is a 3. So instead, we'll go with Focused Curse. There we go. Conductivity will make the target take more lightning damage, thus making them easier to shock, thus making cast on shock function better. Lightning Rod doing more damage will make Lightning Rod shock more. And then we'll get our cast on shock chain going. And now all we have to do is dump lightning rods into him. Calm down, Blackjaw. Got him. Ooh, that could be the next little one we need there. I don't know how many we have, but we shall see. Other than that, everything going pretty much the same. Lightning Arrow the same. Lightning Rod, we added Primal Armament. We added Conductivity. And then the same thing going with our cast on shock chain here. You're rolling. Alright, Alva. Get ready to pour it out like you always do. Worthless. Alva is worthless. Alright, get our lightning rods down. Watch him jump out of our lightning rods. Cast our lightning rods. And continue to do damage. Got him. Easy, easy, lemon squeezy. Alright, we are back in town. We got another Artificer's Orb, so we can Artificer's Orb this.
Shocking.
Put another lightning on it. Now have a bow that has 92 total DPS. Much better. And it's about time we replace this quiver. It's been a good quiver. We've had it since level 4. Thank you, Gambler, but it's time for a new quiver. So, we're going to be looking for a quiver that hits damage with bow skills and +2 all proj skills. And then some sort of sum of attack speed and lightning damage and physical damage, cold and fire. Those are the important ones. 72 bows fit our budget. I'm going to sort by sum. So this one for 10x is very good. It has attack speed on it, but the bow skills is low. But it is a 6. I think we're going to come in and add bow skills in here for our weight. I think that bow skills is important to the weight as well. That makes this one still the best, really. In fact, while we're at this, why don't we look at weightings? So, Lightning Rod does 216 DPS. 216 times 0.1, or 0.01, 22.16. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to give bow skills 0.16 weighting. We'll find real weightings for all these other things. Do this quiver search the right way. Even if we're looking for a budget quiver, it doesn't hurt to do things the right way. Next thing that we need to look at is what is skill speed or attack speed. So, percent skill speed, which is the same as attack speed, gives us 216 to 221. 216 minus 221 is 5 DPS for 3 skill speed. So we divide by 3, we got 1.66. So attack speed is worth 1.66. Now this is strictly to the damage output of spamming lightning rods. Obviously, getting more lightning rods out does more damage faster, especially with lightning arrow. So these are all relative values. Look at plus damage to attacks. That's a tough one to do. So we have to back into some math here. So we'll look at lightning damage to attacks, for example. 5% of extra damage as lightning is on lightning rod 216 to 224. 24. That's 8. 5% of 216 is 10. So that's 10 damage. So 1 damage is 10 divided by 8. So 1.25. Gonna be the weighting. Oh, sorry. 8 divided by 10. 0.8. So elemental damage like lightning attacks is going to be 0.8. Physical damage would also be 0.8 because we're going to be getting an increase in damage and it'll get converted to lightning. Then we'll go ahead and wait cold and fire at 0.6. So bow skills is obviously superior to just about everything, and we already knew that, which is why we had it up here in the base requirement on the item. And then we sort this out, and then this is going to be our new best base item at a weight of 95 and 9 exalted orb. Now this one down here gives us some crit damage and some mana per enemy killed. That's some nice little added on top of it. This one has implicited physical damage to attacks, which we didn't account for. Also has some accuracy and mana per enemy killed and increased crit chance. So we really like this one so far the best. Now the rest of these are all looking pretty much the same. So we want the one that we whispered. KSJ5578 hashtag 4276. Sir, I can't even begin to guess what your name sounds like. Courtesy invite? No. Does not want to sell us his quiver. Sag. This quiver missing 2 suffixes. Could exalt that, but it's a little bit higher. What I want. This one is missing a suffix, and it is the best one, and it's got percent accuracy. But it's 9 exalted orbs, which is more than we really want to spend. It is within budget. Let's see what our guy here is gonna say. If it's... Here's a 1 exalted orb option. I would like the 1 exalted orb option. That's super low budget. Not nearly as good as the best ones here, but again, we're leveling, so we want to keep our budget reasonable, not spend all of our hard lotteried money. Get wider shush has invited us. We got us a quiver. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. Go. And we go from 216 lightning rods to 293. Big upgrades. Let's get back to work. Hey, hey, hey. Our old quiver looks like it's gonna sell. I knew that thing was good. It treated us well for a very, very long time. Probably could have gotten more than 4 exalted out of it. But we're not greedy. We'll pass it on to the next ranger. Here you are, sir. Enjoy your quiver. May it serve you as well as it served me. Woo, we're rich. Got them 4 exalted orbs. And we got a buyer for our Quill Rain. We're making all the money back. All the money. And we sold our amulet. Man, we're just getting... No. There you go. Two orbs. Thank you, sir. And our little resin amulet. Your April? No, your April. We're building up our stash here. We're going to get some upgrades later. That's for sure. Be careful with this girl. She hits hard. Get our lightning rods down. She's going to land right there in the center of the map. I'm going to curse her, mark her, and kill her. Got her. Sit still, fatty. Ooh. Get a stun here. There we go. Now we can just dump damage into her. Thank you much. Give me the loots. She didn't give us the loots. Alright, sir. Sir. Come out and play, Kazuli. What a cheater. Oh yeah, get that stun on. Drop some more rods out. Get the damage. Bye bye, sir. Take my loot. Move on to Alva's next mission. And our Fox Shade is selling. What happens when you make good purchase decisions? You can then resell them whenever you're done. We're also shopping for a ring because we need some stats, and we're going to make some changes to our build. So let's just knock all that out at once here. Thank you, sir. Now, we want a ring. And we want to get stats on it so that we can equip ball lightning. Need some cold res to keep us alive. This is a good ring. Not a lot of cold res. But we aren't seeing a lot of options with cold res. That's a good ring. We'll lose a significant amount of cold res here. That's okay though. Get boots now. So we're going to be looking at boots. No armor on the boots, although they could be hybrid because we would like the int and the dex on there. Max mana and max life are both good. Weighted some on the cold res and movement speed. Nothing that fits those requirements. We'll kind of tone that back a little bit. Nothing that fits those. If we lose some max life, we're in the money. So we'll sort by cold res, and we will see none of the cold res. 15% movement speed looks to be the best movement speed we can get out of boots that we can equip. And we don't really want to give up any move speed. So we'll probably pass on the boots for now. We could do with better gloves, or we could do with a better belt. And so let's go with a belt that has cold resistance on it, and possibly something else useful. Go belt, turn back on the mana and the life. We'll lose the move speed. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It has armor on it. Oh, we can't have dex on our belt anyway. Sort by some here. This one has 30% cold and a little bit of lightning res. This one also has cold and a little bit of lightning res and more life. See if we can't nav that one. It's got armor on it, which is not a bad thing to have. A little bit of life regen, never hurt anyone. This one's got a big... Let's dial up our minimum life and mana. See if we can't get something a little nicer. There we go. 29 cold res, 29 cold res. Something with a secondary res would be really nice. This one's good. This one with 2 open affixes on it is really good. This one with 2 open affixes on it also is really good. Plenty. Which one were you? The 5 exalted. We'll go with the 4 exalted. Sorry, Plenty. Get our belt. Spray and slam. With an item level 74. We're not going to slam this one because it could raise the required level of the item. And this does everything we need it to. So we'll just equip that one right there. We'll go in our stash over here. And we'll list our belt for sale. Old belt we'll list for 4 exalted orbs right now. That gets us up to 91 int, I believe. Need 4 more int. Yep. Go back over to that is not something that is for sale for this character.
How can I be of it?
Refund passives, and we'll switch this one over, well, over to int.
Must always be willing to
And now we're good. Ball lightning. This will replace spark. Pull over abundance out. We're going to put in. Good, we got one more. Cast on shock. Impetus. Then we'll get energy retention later. We'll leave Orb of Storms. That's lies. We're going to pull Orb of Storms out. I wanted to only cast Ball Lightnings. Can we get a deceleration. So until we can get that, we'll just slow down the speed of our ball lightnings so that they will trigger more frequently on the lightning rods. That'll get our cast on shock back in order. Let's get back to the Ziggurat encampment and go kill some Napoatsi.
As for you,
Thank you for punching her in the mouth, Napoatsi. Now it's my turn.
of Val blood you have spilled.
Charged arrow.
And there is the ball lightning version of the build. It does a little bit of damage. Just a little. Alright, it is Doriani time, the end of the normal axe. Get your lightning arrows down. Stay away from him, and you can typically guide him to go towards where your lightning arrows are, except whenever he randomly dodges over here. There we go. Get a good stun on him. And get good damage in on him. Yee. Get out of here, Doriani. What? Cheater! Cheater! Get in your hole. Trigger all your traps. Look at this cheater.
I must save my people.
You know why we're here! It happened! It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed. I cannot allow you to return.
Same thing, just get your ball lightnings going. Spam rods into him. Still got a mana. And then collect your loot. We need a better mana flask.
Not now. How could this happen? All I've done, all that I sacrificed.
Your people cannot be saved. History is already written.
Alright, we'll go over
You can
everything
stay here and die.
for the end of the normal part of the campaign. Our passive tree. We went all the way through here and got clean shot and then down into vile wounds. Then we got master fletching. We went to escape velocity and freedom of movement. We moved down into catalysis and emboldened avatar and force of nature. Then we took flash storm, lightning rod, and we were moving up towards falcon technique, enhanced reflexes, bestial skin. Then we'll go to coming calamity and down into feathered fletching and sniper. And so we're going to kind of move around the tree here and take these nodes, and then we'll see where we go from right there. We did not do our second ascendancy, so as soon as we do that, we will get rid of tailwind here and come and take endless munitions along with probably point blank, because we care more about our boss damage than we care about our clear damage. And so we'll end up going that route as well. And then on our third ascendancy, we'll come back down and take tailwind, and then fourth on windward. For now, we'll move on to Cruel Act. Hillock, fancy meeting you here. Oh, we messed up a little bit there at the beginning. But no worries. Got him in the end. Here, let's do this thing. Got her. Now we still have to alternate between lightning rod and lightning arrow to get the ball lightnings going. And once they're going, we can just drop lightning rods. And that will generally be enough to trigger all of the shocks that we need. But it's a little back and forth to kind of get the loop going, and then you're good. Until you run out of mana. Go mana. Oh, Bramble Grasp. Easy. Alright, so we're a little late coming back to get our trial done. We're now 43. Usually do this around 38. That's okay. We got distracted. Having fun. The trials are pretty straightforward. You're going to zone in. There will be a stage you have to complete, and then you'll receive a penalty that you choose one of 3 choices at the end of that stage. And so we'll start off here with our first penalty. You have a choice of monsters crit, monsters release volatiles, or minus to max res and minus to existing res. And we are res capped for the most part except for cold, so we'll go ahead and take reduced resistances. Well, that's a tough one. We never take volatiles unless we have to. We'll take reduced resistances. We've got good recovery. I think we'll be fine with the reduced resistance.
Storm point. Barely broke a sweat.
Now this first stage, it'll tell you over here to defeat all monsters. The first one is always going to be a defeat all monsters. You'll see on your mini-map you have red dots that'll identify the monsters that you need to defeat. And it's pretty straightforward. You just kill everything. And our lightning rod does God's work over here. Up on the platform, and we get another penalty. Be careful when using your penalties. Don't want to take something that's going to potentially brick your run if you don't have to. Some of them are inherently worse than others. So 40% less defenses, grasping vines on hit, or added chaos damage. Now, do we want added chaos damage? Hell no. 50% less resistances, or 40% less defenses is not that bad because we don't have a lot of evasion. Grasping vines is also not that bad, so we can go ahead and take grasping vines for now. Now this is a arena style, and so creatures will continuously spawn, and you just have to kill the ones that are spawning. Generally speaking, I just pick a corner right here, and I just tuck my way into the corner here, and I'm only going to kill the ones that spawn right here in front of me. You drop lightning arrows where they spawn. You hit them with lightning arrows. No problems. Got a visitor. The big guy coming.
What luck.
Now they'll start spawning faster as you get closer to the end of this. Then they'll all despawn once you get done. And it's penalty time!
This is just the beginning.
We have reduced resistances in grasping vines, therefore we don't really want lightning projectile turrets because we have reduced resistances. Impending Doom, in my opinion, is just a brick. This does a huge 1.5 screen ring of kills everything. And some of these arenas are far too small for it, so I never picked that one.
Pillage and retrieve.
Out of my way.
This is going to be a collect the soul core, and so there will be a map layout with 3 soul cores spread across it. When you pick up the soul core, you immediately start taking physical damage over time. And that physical damage over time escalates the longer you have the soul core. So make sure you keep an eye on your health. Make sure you get the soul core back and dropped off in a little soul altar as soon as you can. Be wary though, things can attack you while you're dropping the soul core into the altar. Go ahead and flip a switch. That'll give us access to this area, where, surprise, surprise, there will be another soul core. As you're running back with the soul core, things will continuously spawn on you, depending on how far you've traveled. And then we'll have one more soul core down here. Now each soul core area is a fixed layout, so it's always the same, but there are 3 or 4 different layouts that it could be. Come on. Let us up. Let us up! Penalty time. And remember, these penalties are all stacking, so make sure that you don't take ones that feed off of each other.
This is just
Monsters are protected by energy shield, or no flask, no charm charges on death, or increased crit chance. Now, I haven't really hit a flask often enough to be too concerned about them not giving me flash charges. So we'll take that one. And we have our first boss encounter here. And we have our first dead boss here. Ball lightning works wonders. And as always, more penalties. Oh, no, that's a lie. Sorry. On the first trial, you only have to do 1 boss. Trial rewards. Come on, Ass Kappa. Come on, Ass Kappa. Topotante. I don't think you're worth anything. Don't know. I don't think so. We'll check the trade website. Flashbang! Topotante. What are you selling for? No. 4x. We'll put it up for sale. Probably. But not a very valuable one. None of those look particularly useful. I'm not too worried about those. Those have sockets, though. We'll take the ones with sockets, because we do need sockets. And Ascendancy time! Thank you for the Ascendancy. And out of the Temple of Chaos. And like I said before, I really think... I like Tailwind. But I really think we're better off with the additional projectile. So we're going to go back to our hideout. You could go back to Act 3 in normal difficulty or wherever you want to find the hooded one. And we're going to refund Tailwind here. And we're going to take the prod speed and point blank and the prod speed. Because I think that extra projectile is just too much to pass up. And then we'll pick up Tailwind again later on down the road when we complete our next Ascendancy Trial. For now, back to Act 1. We need to go and do the Red Veil. Soon. Oh, Rusty King. Come on out and play. Get everything down right here. Drop our orbs. Get our mark and our curse out. And watch him melt. No buttons needed to trigger that with the orbs down. As long as we have our curse and our mark up, Orb of Storms is enough to get the ball lightning going. And then the ball lightning is enough to get the rods going. And then all you gotta do is cast rods. Or if you've got enough damage, you can kill him with one set of rods. Very nice. Here, Druid. Got him. Alrighty. We got a consort. Little consort. Come on out and play. She dodged the first set. Now that we have more arrows, we do need to make one change to Lightning Rod. And that is we need to run Concentrated Effect. The arrows are becoming a little too spread out. And so Concentrated Effect will help to pull those arrows in. And so we can take Concentrated Effect off of our Herald. And we can move it to Lightning Rod in replace of Lightning Infusion. And we can put Lightning Infusion on Herald. And that will bring all of those into a smaller area and much better for single target damage. Back to the grind. Alrighty. It is. What's this guy? Can't remember his name. It's this guy's time. The Praetor. Oh. Those ball lightnings ate all of my rods so fast, I didn't even get a chance to recast them. Out, Praetor. Nice knowing you. Alright, Lachlan. Got him. Those ball lightnings rip. Oh, Crowbell, we meet again. Cheater, cheater! Look at the cheater! Look at him run. Cheater. Careful of the bell. Bell hurts. Got him. Thank you, sir. Okay. Book of Specialization. Just an update on the tree. We picked up Falcon Technique, Proficiency, and we're moving up to Enhanced Reflexes. Probably not going to take Bestial Skin for now. Instead, we'll swing down here, come over here, take our Herald, and then maybe come down here to our bow skills afterwards. Alright, Executioner. Come on down. We've been through this a few times. Gotta get a little more max mana, but the damage is good. These guys shooting arrows at me over here. Cheaters! Cheaters. Come on down, Candlemass.
First ones, hear our laments. Sanity recedes ever further into the dark.
Charged arrow.
Hover above us, in the corners, watching. What sickness
Got him.
is among us that so unsettles our minds?
Leonor, we meet again, sir. We have improved our weapons significantly. Well, actually, we really haven't improved our weapons significantly, but our skills, yes. Drop the rods. No, don't move out of my stuff, Leonor. If you're gonna keep moving out of my lightning rods, how am I ever going to kill you? There we go. Thank you, sir. Oh, look at him go. Nope, not gonna get me. Not gonna work. Phase! Got him. Got him. Why you gotta make it so hard, Gianor? You know you're gonna die. Oh, Wrathbreaker. Let's do this thing, sir. Don't get hit by the arrows. Oh, he moved. Die, sir. Die. Oh, Raja. Hello, sir. I didn't even get a chance to shock him. I mean, curse him. Or mark him. He just exploded. Badge. Oh, Jaminra. Pleasure to see you again. Get him. Go, Ball Lightnings, go.
I tried to seek peace, and the Succubus disgraced me. Brought to the sand. This time, we choose war.
No, not the sand crabs. What are we gonna do?
Not today.
Yeah. He always escapes. We've done this before, Sekima.
This is no matter of sandstorm. We must battle sorcery with sorcery.
Alright.
Let us return to the caravan and entreat.
Alright, you two. It would be very kind if y'all could gather up at the same location. Make this easy. Almost, but not quite. In Ekbob's defense, he did get stunned out of range.
They won't be needing these
Not his fault. But they're both dead. Alright, we got... What's her name again? Kabbalah. Kabbalah who keeps moving. Sit still, Kabbalah, and die. Got her. Oh, hello, Sir Corner Dweller. He moved. They're always moving out of my lightning rods. Got him. Got him. Alright, Titan boss. Don't be too annoying. Got him. We need a little bit more attack speed because we lose out on our chain because the ball lightnings burn our rods way too fast. But we're getting there. This boss right here has to rank as the #1 most annoying boss in the game. He has to. But he's also dead. That's all that matters. Alright, it's shopping time again. We are going to be looking at level 55 Advanced Dual String Bows. It's the first level you can use an Advanced Dual String Bow. So this will be a significant upgrade for us. We're going to look at 225 Fizz DPS bows first. And we're going to see if we can find one with not having a rune with physical damage increased onto it. So that's something that we can put in there instead. There's 7 of these bows available. This one is a 258 base DPS bow, 251, 44. So a lot of good bows here. We're going to see if there's one of them that has a affix on it that is like proj skills or elemental damage, something else useful. Crit chance is not useful to us because we're running lightning rods, so we actually don't want any crit chance on the bow. This one has 2 open suffixes, so that could possibly be crafted into something useful. But I think we're just probably going to go for this one that has the highest DPS. Whoa. That bow just sold. We just missed it. Edge. Now we go with this one that we can craft on. We'll also look... So, technically speaking, because of the way damage works, a higher flat and then adding in percentage is going to be better for us than having a lower flat. It's like, for example, this is a 234 DPS bow. So 234 DPS... and we'll take away the quality, and we'll take away the added damage that it has, and it becomes a 79 DPS bow. And then all of these should probably be 79 DPS bows. So we can go and look at items and bows, and then we'll go to bow items, and we'll go to advanced dual string, and an advanced dual string is 29 plus 54 divided by 2. That's 1.2. Oh, well, this one we didn't take away the fizz. The flat fizz on that is 21 plus 28 divided by 2, which is like 24. So 79 minus 24. So 55, which is where all the bows are. So this flat fizz is modified by what we add to it. And we'll take this one, for example, versus this one. This one has attack speed on it. This one does not. So there's going to be no difference between those two for the final end result because attack speed is multiplicative. But we can estimate what this will become once we craft on it. So we take the, like I said, 234. We divide out the quality because that's an overall multiplicative. We divide out the increased fizz damage, which puts us at 79. We multiply back in by 2.86, which is two 20% physical runes, times 1.2 again, which is going to put that at 272 DPS with 2 fizz runes in it. And then we can look at another one that is a higher base physical DPS, but a lower physical roll on it, like this one. And so then we go 240 divided by 1.2 divided by 2.59 times 2.99 times 1.2, and we get 277. So even though this one has a higher flat fizz on it right now, or a higher base physical DPS, it's 2 DPS lower than this other one because it had a higher flat fizz roll on it. Now, we'll check to see, to make sure we're making a good purchase by coming into 279 physical DPS bows, not care about the runes, and we can see that those are not available for purchase in our price range. Lower to 270, still not available for purchase. So a 225 without the runes in it is definitely going to be the best choice for us from a budget perspective, so that we can get the most out of our bow. Now, suffixes on the bows are not particularly valuable other than attack speed. And so this bow has attack speed on it, has a good fizz roll, has a low increased fizz, so we're going to get more value out of it. This is a really good purchase, but we can gamble on this bow and maybe get attack speed on there, and that would make this bow ridiculously good. So we'll go ahead and first try by this bow, and then we can Exalted Orb that one if we get it. My friend, we would love to grab your bow. If you would please be so kind as to join our party. Hot chili! Let's go. Come on, hot chili. Ooh. That's a really good emerald that we found. Let's see if we can make it a little bit better. Where are our augmentations? Summon inventory already. Give me some good duration of shock and chill. Not a big thing, but that elemental damage is worth regaling. So we'll regal it. Charm charges gained. Not worth exalting, but that will fill in an empty gem socket that we have right here. So that is a nice one. Does not look like we're going to get this bow. We can move down to the next best one, which would be either another shot at gamble, but only one open, or one that is guaranteed to have all the stats we need. All this one has crit on it, and we don't really want crit chance. So we're going to say not critical hit chance. Still going to leave this one up at the top as the best choice. This one, which is 229 with a 149 roll. We'll whisper hot chili here one more time. See if he would be so kind as to sell us his bow. Sir, for favor, we want your bow. It's a good bow. I don't think we're going to get this one. Now, all these bows are 10 Exalted Orbs. We'll step up our budget to 15 just in case there is like a really good outlier. This one is an increased attack speed, 235 base, nothing exceptional. This one came in at 6 Exalted Orbs. But it only has, we would have to Artificer's Orb that ourselves. 18 to 31, 138. Accuracy. The double leech doesn't really mean anything to us. 226 base is the lowest base. We'll also double check 275 bows at 15 Exalted Orbs. Hot Chili decided to come back. Patience is a virtue. Thank you very much, Sir Chili. We appreciate your bow. Now, we are going to have to get some Artificer's Orbs on this bow. So we'll go back to our boat caravan slave drawn nonsense here. We only have artificers. Well, we have one orb. So we need one more orb. Hello, Risu. We now have access to a currency exchange. Once you have completed the normal difficulty, you'll have a merchant on each act that will give you access to an exchange. We get 4 per 1 Exalted Orb. So we'll go ahead and pick up 4 here. We'll slam our bow. And we will Exalted Orb our bow. We're looking for attack speed here. Crit damage bonus, not ideal. And then light radius. The game does not like us today, but it's still a good bow. Huge upgrade from our current existing bow. We will need some physical runes to put in the bow. Right now we don't have any increased fizz damage, so we will need to buy those as well. But thankfully we've got access to Risu here. And Risu, we need a physical damage rune, which is going to be the Iron Rune. Iron runes are 4.55 to 1, so we'll go ahead and buy 4 of these. Place these in our bow. And now we need to whetstone this bow as well. We've only got 7 whetstones left, so we're probably not going to be able to get this thing up to 20%. Only 10. We can come and buy some more whetstones here from Risu. Now these are 1 to 1 almost. So we'll buy 16 will cost that math doesn't math. If we spend 4, how many are you going to give us? 1 to 1. If we spend 5, how many are you going to give us? 5. Two to 1. 10 for 5. There we go. And so we spent about 17 or 18 of our Exalted Orbs to get this bow. And to make this bow is a 277 277 Fizz DPS bow. And to get an equivalent bow at level 55 would have cost us about 50 Exalted Orbs. So definitely a solid profit on crafting this bow. Later on, whenever we're done with this bow and we upgrade it, we'll be able to sell this for 30 or 40 Exalted Orbs and make a nice profit off of it. In the meantime, we just get to equip it and go and rock. Comparison to DPS here. Our Lightning Rod DPS was 583. It is now 1322. Now this bow as well, we need to look at selling. And so it is a 92 DPS bow. 69 physical DPS with firing an additional arrow and LE damage to attacks. We have a level requirement on this bow of 22. And so there is nothing even remotely close to it at our level. We'll take off the physical DPS requirement and just look at a 92 DPS bow. There is nothing out there that has increased daily damage to attacks. If we remove increased daily damage to attacks, still nothing out there in that range. We'll lower the DPS to 85. It helps if I type in the right level of the bow. It's a 28 level bow, not a 22 level bow. Now we'll put everything back to the way it was. And so the closest in comparison bow is 999 divine. That's a little outrageous. We'll lower our total damage per second to 85. And we'll see one similar to it for 10 exalted orbs. Ours is obviously better. We'll put ours up in the stash for, we'll call it 15. We spent a grand total of 5 exalted orbs, I think, on this bow. So that's a nice solid profit we're going to make on that bow as well. This is a bow we found and crafted. I don't think it's ever going to sell, but it did have +2 proj on it and a decent fizz roll, so we're putting it in there anyway. And we'll get back to the grind. Alright, you thought we were done with shopping, but there is always shopping to be done. We do need some jewels. We opened up 2 new jewel slots here with our passes from our weapon specialization book. And we have this jewel down here that we've had socketed because we found it early, and it literally does nothing at all for our build because we do no cold damage or freeze. So we need 3 jewels. So to get 3 jewels, we have set up a weighted sum of damage with bows, attack speed with bows, attack speed, elemental damage, lightning damage, projectile speed, which is damage for us, and damage penetrates lightning resistances. We're setting a minimum weighted sum of 20, an exalted orb price point of 5, and we'll hit search, and then we'll sort by sum here, and we'll be looking for jewels that have a good sum and also an open affix for exalting. And so here's a 28. Mark skills have increased attack speed. It's great quality of life. We'll try to get that one. We go down the list here. Here's another one. This doesn't have anything useful on the 3rd one, but we can try to get another one there as well. This guy sold us this one, so that's a good start. Charm charges gained is worthless, but lightning damage and bow damage and an open affix is really good for us. Got that one as well, so that's a good start. Trade going smoothly is always nice. Now we need one more of these bad boys. Here's another one at a 27. Open suffix. Here's another one at 27 with an open suffix. And a 26 with an open suffix. And we got Tom's. Tom is Chirako Takamoto. The name. 5 exalted orbs again. A good bunch of jewels. We won't have to replace those jewels ever. They're all just really solid jewels. And so these will be literally the last upgrade we'll ever have to make to our character. So that is a very nice way to spend our money. Now we've got our 3 jewels here. Sorry, sir. And we'll exalt all these. We're looking for bow attack speed or attack speed. That would be the best exalt on here. Slowing penalty of debuffs on us is lessened. Attack speed. And increased ailment threshold. That's actually not bad. It's a good defensive one. But this one just became a really, really good jewel. So comparatively to the market, this jewel would be about a div, maybe 2, depending on where these all land. So very, very solid jewel on the average. We made a lot of money just on a quick craft on that jewel. And we also got ourselves an incredible jewel. We'll socket all those in. That will bring our damage from 1300 to 1600. Solid gains. Back to the grind. Alright, now we don't do much recording and mapping because that would make this video incredibly long. However, Dreadnaught is a personal hatred of mine and many other players in the game because of how bad the first day experience of Dreadnaught was. And so we'll record our cruel Dreadnaught here so you can see how the build does in mapping. Now, for the most part, we are just dropping arrows on the ground with lightning rod and then hitting it with lightning arrow. Our lightning arrow itself really doesn't do that much damage, and so we're not using that as a source of damage. Instead, most of our damage is coming from the lightning rods. Although with our new bow and changes, our damage with lightning arrow is respectable again. Now, I guess we'll go over a few things real quick while we're looking at this clear here. So, I've been running on lightning arrow chain and martial tempo. I did open up another suffix on to put something on there, and I think I'm going to pull chain off. We were using chain earlier on as a main way to trigger lightning rod. Since lightning arrow is no longer our main trigger for lightning rod, we can run additional support gems on it that are going to increase the damage of lightning arrow, making it a reasonably good clear skill. Now, primal armament is probably the most powerful one, but we are using primal armament on our main link right now. And so we'll probably go with Innervate. What do we have Innervate on? So Innervate is on Herald of Thunder right now. So we'll pull Innervate off and put it on Lightning Arrow. If we're going to use it for clear, then it'll be really important to have that giving us bonus damage. And then on our second or our third one here, we'll probably go with Long Shot. Long Shot is going to give us more attack damage to enemies that are further away, and we're going to be shooting things from further away, and so that will be really good on Lightning Rod. Or sorry, on Lightning Arrow. Got a Long Shot there. Now Herald of Thunder obviously lost its support. Chain doesn't do anything for it. We lost concentrated effect off of it. We can always run something like Conduction, although we can't run Conduction on Herald of Thunder because it doesn't crit. It doesn't shock. We can run Elemental Focus is what I mean to say. Because Herald of Thunder in and of itself cannot shock because it activates as a payoff for shocking, we'll go ahead and run Elemental Focus because we don't care about it dealing an elemental ailment. Now this will improve our clear on Lightning Arrow significantly by having that additional damage. And now we can save Lightning Rod strictly for tanky rares, things like that. And we can off-screen most of this horrible, horrible Dreadnaught. Now, Herald of Thunder is also doing a lot of work for us. You just can't see it because most of the time Herald of Thunder is killing things that are off the screen because Lightning Arrow is killing the things that are just on the edge of the screen. As you can see, our new bow is doing good work. And so we definitely made a good decision with that bow purchase. Anytime you're looking at items, make sure that you're getting better at trading each time you do it, because the ability to shop for good items is more important than having the currency to buy the best item. And we're through the first part of the Dreadnaught and on to the second one. Always pick up those advanced dual string bows. They can both be valuable and huge upgrades for us. So anytime you see an advanced dual string bow on the ground at this point in the game, you're just going to want to pick those up. Expert dual strings are obviously better bows, but they're usable at a minimum level of 78. And advanced dual strings can still become incredibly valuable, powerful bows that you craft on, because the tiers needed to make it an insane bow do not require a very high eye level. You can have a well over 500 DPS advanced dual string bow that would sell for, I would guess right now, probably 100 divine or something with the right affixes on it. So any advanced dual string bow you want to see, grab, identify, and then potentially craft on depending on what it has on it. Also, on a side note, since we're mapping, anytime you're mapping, make sure you're tapping your attack button, not holding it down. The only time you should ever really hold down your attack button is when there is a primary target you need to kill and has a ton of health, and they're currently actively stunned or CC'd. The movement speed penalty for just holding the button down to attack is pretty massive, and it's going to slow you down overall, potentially get you killed as well. Now we're going to start moving up towards Wildstorm up here. This is definitely the most powerful affix that we have access to on a tree currently. So we're going to keep working that way. Right here, make sure you put your lightning arrows down. Although Jamanra has a whole lot of RP before he decides to jump in the fight. Nothing's going to be different. We're going to try to curse him. We're going to try to Voltaic Mark him. We have another 3. We don't. So get your arrows down. And then your orbs. Get the mark out. Get the curse out. Come on, Jamanra. You're just cheating around here right now. Get through your phase. It's okay, buddy. Same thing, rods, and then dead boss. Easy peasy. Give us the loot. Sekima. Cut his head off.
Not over. Not yet.
Alright, now we'll do a summary for our Act 2. As we saw earlier, we did change over Martial Tempo, Innervate, and Longshot on our Lightning Arrow to assist with clear. We're able to do this now with our new bow and our new jewels and just getting our base damage up significantly. Lightning Rod is still Scattershot, Conk Effect, and Primal Armament. Herald of Thunder, we moved over to Lightning Infusion and Elemental Focus. Cast on Shock is still Ball Lightning with Impetus and Energy Retention. Conductivity is still Heightened Curse and Focus Curse. We would like another jewel here to put Curse Ground on here. Voltaic Mark is with Persistence, and Orb of Storms is with Abundance. And again, our rotation is to put down rods, put down orbs, mark and curse, and then spam rods. The rods will shock the target, the shocks will trigger ball lightnings, the ball lightnings will trigger the rods will shock the targets, etc., etc., etc. Now, as far as our tree goes, not much has changed. We came down and we took Feathered Fletching, and we took Enhanced Reflexes, and we're going to be moving up to taking Wild Storm, because Wild Storm has unbelievably good synergy with Lightning Rod down here. So Wildstorm ends up being a 22.5% DPS increase to our character with Lightning Rod active on our passive tree down here. For our items, we still run in the Gold Rim. We've still got this quiver we bought. We've still got this amulet that we bought. We've still got this jacket we bought. A couple of rings that just have stats and resistances. We're still running our Wanderlust sandals and our little 3 affix belt. And a bow, or a gloves that have just life and a little bit of resistance on them. Our bow we just got and upgraded is a really phenomenal bow, so make sure you do pay attention to how you need to shop for bows. And enjoy. We're on to Act 3. It's the monkey. Hello, monkey. Goodbye, monkey.
It's a shame to kill such a creature. but
Easy
you
peasy.
left me with little choice.
Which time? Now, if we can get her stunned. Nope. She moved it.
Take this.
Oh ho ho! We died, and she died. Sag. We still get our spirit, but we don't get our terrible loot. There are worse things in life. We meet again, Chimera. Got him. Alright, Blackjaw. Come on out and play. Sorry. I mean, at this point, we don't even really need to curse. Because we've got enough shock to just melt everything without the curse and without the mark. But, I mean, against end-game bosses, the curses and the marks will become more important. Alright, Alva. I'm not even going to summon you. You're just going to bounce. Worthless. Deleted. Alrighty. We got good old Queen of Filth. Got her. That damage though. Alright, Ketsuli. Come on out here. We did get cursed ground on our curse because we got a T3 support. So we do have that going for us now. Oh, he dodged out. What a bum. I mean, he died anyway. But he messed up our setup. Terrible. Oh, we got someone who wants to buy our Killjoy linen wraps. Making the money. Go ahead and teleport out of here. Our money situation is still looking good. We've got close to 100 Exalted Orbs in our stash. Our items that we have over here have not been selling. We're eventually going to have to move those out to make room. But we've been making a solid profit off of a few different things. So that is good for us. And we're nearly done with the Act 3 Cruel. So we'll see you soon. Oh, Napawatsi. And Napawatsi is one of those bosses where we don't get to get a setup going. And since we don't get to have a setup going, it's more beneficial to us to mark her first and then drop our abilities. Because we're going to need the extra shock chance to get our chain going.
As for you, I will pay back every drop of Val blood you have spilled.
Deleted. We are at the end of our road with the campaign here. And going into the Black Chambers with Dorianye. Now we'll drop some lightning arrows, but this asshole never stays still long enough to do anything, so we're gonna have to move them around. Maybe we get lucky. Oh, we got him stunned in him. Go. Now we gotta like not die to all the random stuff that. Oh no, he's gonna phase immediately. Oh, that was a terrible decision, sir. You should have done your bullshit. Got him. Campaign done. And let's take a look at where we ended with everything. From an item perspective, we're still using Gold Rim. We're still using this level 32 amulet we got. We're still using these level 30 and 28 rings we got. We did upgrade our quiver at level 35. We're still using these level 11 sandals. We're still using this belt that we got around level 40. And these gloves around level 30. So the gear held together fairly well. We upgraded our bow at level 55 and obviously made a huge jump in our power with this bow upgrade, thanks to eyeing out bows that did not have sockets in them that we could then craft on. This ended up being a very strong bow for us. For our gems, we finished off with Martial Tempo, Lightning Infusion, and Innervate on Lightning Arrow to assist with clear. Scatter Shot, Concentrated Effect, and Primal Armament for bossing on Lightning Rod. Escape Shot for sticky situations. Herald of Thunder with a long shot and elemental focus for assistance and clear. Cast on Shock with ball lightning impetus and energy retention for more ball lightnings. Heightened Curse and Cursed Ground for conductivity so that we can pre-curse on bosses and not waste time casting whenever they spawn. We'll take Mark with Persistent for situations where we can't set up the boss ahead of time to give us an easier chance to get the chain going with chance to shock. And Orb of Storms with Overabundance to get the ball lightning chain started, and Wind Dancer as an additional layer of defense. Now we do have 20 spirit left over that we could spend on Cannibalism or Clarity or Vitality, any other sort of defenses that we need to put in here, and so we'll look into that more when we start min-maxing the character, getting ready to go into mapping. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with our mapping.